moving to color 6, which is innocence, which is no specific motivation or reason of doing something. There's no agenda. And they're more concerned with just being here and observing reality, acting from purity and not external wants. And then innocence flips into the transference, the distraction of desire, which is color 3, because colors 3 and 6 have that relationship. And that's about feeling a desire to lead other people, and they're ready to do whatever it takes to get people on the winning side. It shifts to desire and chasing external validation.
Yeah, and then they're seeking that external validation when their innocence could care less. They're seeking that external motion because the leadership requires others. Whereas when desire is your natural motivation, the leadership doesn't always require others. Sooner or later, you'll run into others, you'll need others and all that stuff, but very often you're just good at it all by yourself. You'll start, something will take place and then you'll invoke others. But if you're transferring from the innocence, then it becomes this validation thing. It becomes this feeling of desire that is more like a longing that can never, the unrequited love that will never be answered. That's no good. And they're ready to do whatever it takes. You know what? That sounds like an impulsive decision. No can do. No impulsive decisions down here. Please, you're innocent. You're waiting. This is another game of waiting as an active state of awareness. It's also, go figure, a yang force. 2, 4, and 6 are the yang lines. 1, 3, and 5 are the yin. And it doesn't seem right, does it?
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
It really doesn't. Who are our Father in heaven?
God.
Innocent. He's innocent. Jesus was innocent.
The most innocent.
And in fact, he led with innocence as the ultimate man. Not every man that is a Christian man tries to emulate, He most like, so if you look at it that way, it's there. Innocence is a powerful force because once it becomes involved, innocence is about, I'm not yet involved. That's a big part of this. And it doesn't mean I won't be involved. It means when the right thing comes, involvement takes place, the innocence turns into great power because there was no preconceived notion. There was nothing pre-contrived out of it. This person comes fresh out of the gate, ready to go without a lot of bad habits. Like someone will say, give me a newbie. I don't want someone with all them bad habits. This is a newbie to each new thing. And we need that. That's a fresh pair of eyes as well. Innocence is watching as a fresh pair of eyes most of the time.
Yeah, I have a story with innocence and desire transference because this is my boyfriend's motivation. And I could see it from like years ago when he just started like learning how to DJ, the first like camping things we were going to and the first burns we were going to. He was really excited to like, I'm going to go to this camp and I'm going to DJ at this place. I'm going to DJ at this place and do all these things. And he was like trying to make it happen and like scheduling and organizing and reaching out in this whole thing. And he did that. And it turned into like him dragging his DJ controller. And then I'm going with because I want to see him DJ. But then I kind of felt like I wasn't having my own experience because I just was following him to his things. And some of the sets were all right. And some were better than others. But it's in another person's space. And there's kind of like, it was cool, but there's an awkwardness. And then what was like 2 years ago, he's like, I'm not planning for nothing. I'm not scheduling volunteer hours. I'm not trying to make DJ sets happen. I'm not organizing it all. I'm just showing up. And then by just showing up and stumbling into it, he would stumble into like the absolute best DJ sets where like he just blew apart like the entire campground. The whole lake was just like him knocking it out of the park. Yeah.
That speaks to where we started. This is about our cognition, what we're able to basically invent. Our cognition is the great inventor, and it's moving along a trajectory, a way. And if that way is clean and that inventing is clean inside the mind, of course the sets are good. He was putting them together inside his mind in real time, innocently.
But not trying to
Uncontrived.
make it happen. Exactly. Uncontrived. And even like he'll do like really cool, fun, sexy stuff if he's not trying. But if he tries to do something to like look cool or sexy in front of something, he'll end up like tripping or dropping something. And this like innocence will come back by accident of like you tried to look cool and now you look silly and you're back to being innocent. But if he doesn't try to make a thing happen He will stumble into the coolest things, but it's trusting that you don't have to try to make the thing happen from that place of desire, because then you kind of trip yourself up. But if you just kind of trust it and follow your strategy and authority and do all the things, you'll stumble into the coolest experiences. So it's not like you're not doing anything. You're just not trying to make the thing happen.
Innocent. Babies are innocent. Babies get lots of things done, but they don't do any of it.
Cool. So for color 6, motivation of innocence, the left arrow trajectory is the observer, being a watcher, detached and passive, reflects inwardly to stay authentic, and they're a resource. On the converse, we have the right arrow trajectory, which is observed, being an example, thrives when authenticity is seen by others, and acting as a role model.
They end up both acting as the role model, is the thing. The observer is in motion, and that's with a twinge of that desire that puts them in motion. Again, you have to transfer to see it. The innocence has to transfer to desire to know what innocence is, just like we have to experience nighttime to know what daytime is. I mean, this particular transference truly, amplifies that a lot, exemplifies that a great deal. Then, as the observed, it's people are noticing you. They're noticing that rightness. They're noticing what's the scoop with it. They're recognizing that if you start here, or you end up recognizing that if you start here, you started out as the observer looking around, and then you moved yourself into motion, and now you're being observed. Same with the other way around. If you have a left arrow, you start out as the observed. People see you, and then you slowly, as through your detachment, move into the observer. Observing is a very important thing. We got to do it. Sooner or later, you start to observe the other. This is the type of thing where it's not you only move from one to the other, specifically like the bottom 5 lines. Bottom 5, you're moving from one to the other. This is the 6-line process. It's transitional. This process went through a 3rd-line process of desire in the first 28 years. It went through an aloof process, wondering what is innocence. It figures out what is innocence through its chiron and sort of starts to exemplify that innocence. It's a long, slow burn. So we can't ask these things to have a nice dividing line, like the theist and the anti-theist, the leader and the follower. That's a pretty bright line. Those are bright lines. This one, not a bright line.
And yes, the left arrow is the observer and the right arrow is the observed, which seems confusing because if you go into the environment with the body, and the active body is like the observed body kind of thing. So there's a confusion. But for the binary trajectory, the left arrow is the observer because it's the strategic thing to do.
Well, plus so far, all the left-facing arrows have been the sort of more active principle of the binary. Leader, left. Follower, right.
Yeah, little confusion.
Active, yeah, right. The teacher was on the left and the student was on the right. And this one is sort of seems backwards.
You ready for a question?
Yep.
So Leah asks, Danny, you mentioned about innocent souls like Greg still have to do things. Can you explain more about how he's to do that while remaining in nowness?
Because ultimately, through that innocence, the uncontrivedness is also uncontrived about sitting still. So the uncontrivedness is as things need to be done, the innocence is doing what all 6 lines do, and it's viewing out over the entire circuitry. It's viewing out over the entire thing. In its uncontrivedness, it just needs to be shown. We need to take the trash out. We need to hurry. I hear the truck. We need to hurry right now. The truck is 2 houses away. The innocent will move just fine. Observed or observer, it won't matter is the thing. Innocence needs a certain amount of shepherding and a lot of tolerance and understanding, and then a certain amount more shepherding just to sort of show you need this thing here, need that thing there, and then the acceptance of their shepherding, because the innocence, just like the fool on the hill, will come down sooner or later off of the mountain and join the village for a task or two. But they don't just always stay aloof or away. 44-6, aloofness. They don't always stay away. Hopefully that answers your question. In the nowness, he just needs to be told and or shown so it can come out of him or not, as a response. Generators, I think, right?
We also got another great comment, which is the name Gregory means watcher or observer. which is kind
What
of
the crap? That's so cool.
that cool. And then, wow, this really answers a lot. Thanks, guys.
All righty. Thank you, Greg. Leah.
And
Generators, right? Two generators? They both generators?
he's a Gen. I think she's a projector, and she also that makes sense because she's his cattle prodder. Like,
Okay.
make him
The
do the
cattle
thing.
prime. So just so Leah, it's true. So don't worry, you hijacked the generative box. It's a good slave. Don't you worry. You'll get plenty out of it. It's just at the times that are a little bit difficult when the moment comes, yes, you're the first prodder. Because that desire won't allow, I mean, that innocence won't allow him to be the first prodder plenty of times. And if you've got a first line motivation, then you are noticing the things. Notice all of the things, and it's perfectly fine. So, and then Greg, you have to be understanding when she comes to you with some of the things, which I
Yeah,
figure you're already doing. Don't mean to talk to you guys like you're in kindergarten. You know?
yeah, you just give him the advice.
Yep.
She says she hijacked a good man because she is a projector. She confirmed that, and Greg is
Yes, you're
a
penetrating the crap out of him. Uh-huh. You got no chance, Greg. She just looked. All she has to do is look at you, bud. It's like that thing. You're gonna have to get those glasses or get that helmet thing that what's his name had in X-Men, right? So no one could get through. You'll need a bodysuit of it. Because as soon as Leah stares and puts her focus on you, that's it.
and then she said, and he has a pocket projector, so they both win.
That's funny.